The glorification of pregnancy for black women changed over the years. Women once felt proud to have a child, but as times changed, the mindset changed.
The role of motherhood in Africa was very much more respected than it became in the United States, partly because the United States ultimately developed a Victorian type of culture where women and men were supposed to be married before they had any children, and if you didn't, then your child was illegitimate, or you've done something horribly wrong, or and the child, just naming the child illegitimate in and of itself was a marker of shame for the woman who has this child. But in West African societies, motherhood was it was a rite of passage of sorts. It was something to be celebrated, not to be ashamed of. Now,
According to the CDC, black women's birth rate in 1980 was at 2.18%, and in 2013 it decreased to 1.88%.
You haven't given birth yet, and it's kind of is our purpose to like procreate and fill the earth, but nowadays it is a little bit frowned upon, and women are forced to choose often, between our careers, between sometimes our relationships. A child is looked at sometimes more of a burden than of like an actual celebration that, hey, we just brought life to this world.
Motherhood was something for some people was a true case of joy, but also was a case of sadness because there were dilemmas that happened with regards to people with regards to motherhood. And then we have to look at how some of them became mothers. That it will not be the normal situation that we will say today, that when we have children, that is, again, a great sense of joy, accomplishment in our lives for many of us. Then children sometimes were viewed, or not sometimes, children were property, especially if they're held in captivity. Children were property. So that mother now has that dilemma with regards to now having to deal with the fact that she gives birth to this child, but she doesn't have full control over that child. Somebody else still has the control over that child, which deprives her of having that fullness with regards to being that parent, being the mother, being the protector, being the comforter of that child.
I feel that being a black mother is not as glorified as it used to be because so many black women are losing their kids, or they are becoming into poverty.
The family was a very, very important social institution. And women's position in the family was a very, very important position. Women kind of made everything work. And also, women were valued because of the reproductive capabilities, so to speak. Women had children. And because of the kind of extended family systems that people had, where everybody was a member of one big family, and you needed large families in order to keep the village going and to keep the society going, they practiced polygamy, where a man was able to have more than one wife. Now, a lot of people misunderstand that. They think that polygamy was just something that was practiced because of male dominance, males wanted sexual gratification.
So one way that we can clearly see a difference in terms of how black women are treated compared to, or black mothers are treated compared to black fathers, is if we consider a case where there is a single black father. Oftentimes, single black men who have custody of their children are glorified. I mean, they're celebrated. I remember there was an instance where on social media there was a man who was braiding his daughter's hair, and it just got, so much attention. And on the one hand, it's great. It's great that we have this father who is taking care of his child. Wonderful. But then on the other hand, it was like, there are all these women who have been doing all of these things, for centuries and not gotten the same type of credit.
Because I have a friend who has 3 children, and she has not been able to pull herself up off the ground. She's stayed at home with her parents ever since I've known her, and she's never been able to get ahead because of these reasons. And it sucks because it's like either you struggle to excel, and it's a risk, so hopefully you make it, or you just choose not to fight and you just kind of sift through it, and you kind of live a lesser life, but you live a stable lesser life.
you.